And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome into O'Neill's Grill for our weekly fan and press luncheon with JMU women's basketball coach Kenny Brooks, as the Dukes coming off another perfect week, winning both of their ball games on the road at Elon on Thursday, 68-51, at home against Drexel yesterday before 5,009 fans at the Convocation Center. The final was 66-51. That leaves the Dukes at 15-2 overall, 6-0 in the CAA. Coach Brooks, just a quick summary of the couple of games that you did win this past week.
I thought it was a good week. I thought our kids really focusing on the areas that we need to focus on, which is the defensive end. You go down to Elon. Elon was a interesting trip. It was kind of a lot of unknowns, and never played down there before. The gym is a very unique gym. It's a smaller gym. But I thought our kids really responded well on the road. And Elon's a very talented basketball team, and we knew we were going to have our hands full. We went out and we didn't play, great on the offensive end, but I thought we played very, very well on the defensive end, and I was very proud of our kids for that. Had contributions from a lot of different kids. I thought Lady Okafor was tremendous. She doesn't get Player of the Week this week. I don't know what's going on. She did. Congratulations to Lady again. But she was dominant. She was dominant, got the ball inside to her. She really controlled the game on the inside when we needed to be so, because, Precious Hall didn't shoot the ball particularly well. And I thought both teams were kind of filling each other out. First meeting, not ever playing against each other. Felt like a non-conference game, with a little bit more of intensity. And so the second half we came out. I thought Lady played well again, but I thought Muff Mickens really took over the game in the second half. And she created tempo by her defensive prowess. She got out on a break, created a lot of things for a lot of different people, and really took over the basketball game. And we were able to come away with a very, very good win against a very talented team. And then to come back and play, Duke Dog Reading Day has always been a staple of our program. It's really been a big part of our success. And to go out and play in front of 5,009 people, it was a blessing, and we were very excited. And then to play against an opponent like Drexel, who's been a nemesis for us for a while, and such contrasting styles. We want to get up and down, and they want to walk it. They want to control the tempo, and I thought we did a good job. We were just finishing watching film. We made some mistakes defensively, but overall I thought we were really good on the defensive end. We really took them out of what they wanted to do numerous times. We made sure we covered their scores. We didn't rebound the ball well, but I think what happens, you get so caught up in guarding them, the shot goes up, and we kind of relaxed a little bit and expected someone else to get the ball, and we didn't come away with it like I wanted. But you focus so much on the defensive end against them that sometimes your offense suffers. And I thought we were a little bit out of sync offensively, but still able to put up 66 points against Drexel. That's above their average, and so I thought we did a really good job. And it's a good win. It's a very good win for us, and I think we're on the right track, and we're playing pretty well.
When we go back a few weeks ago, even after some pretty remarkable wins, big wins, you were, I guess, saying that you could be so much better. And then most recently, the last couple of weeks, you've focused and talked almost in every postgame about defense. Why the change? What was your, because as you mentioned, I think in one postgame, I'm an offensive guy, but we got to concentrate on defense. Why that switch? Why that concentration?
Well, you look at it, and again, in comparison to last year's team was very dominant. You look at the margin of victory, it was overwhelming. And, I look at this team, and this team is every bit as talented, just in a different way. And I kept looking, I'm wondering, okay, why are we having closer games? What's going on? And it was just a comparison thing, and I think the reason that we had the big margin of victories last year was because we focused on the defensive end, and we could stop you. Yeah, our offense was pretty good, but we would stop you. And I thought we were getting to the point this year we would get a comfortable lead, and we really lacked focus on the defensive end. And from that point on, we were like, okay, we're just going to outscore you. Okay, we have a comfortable lead, as opposed to increasing the lead. And so we really taking care of the defensive end, focused on the little things as far as the defensive end goes, and I think we've been much better. Since we've been talking about it, I think we went up to we beat Wilmington by 17, we beat at Northeastern by 22, at William & Mary by 22, at Elon by I think it was 16 or 17, and then a double-digit win again yesterday. And I think a lot of it just has to be because we're really focused on stopping people.
What are some of the subtle things that are taking place with your team that are that's making your team better? One of those that kind of comes to mind from my example is the time that you're giving Haley Barron, for example. Not a lot of minutes, but a few here and there. There's some other subtleties that you're working in now?
Well, we're really stressing playing together as a team. And we've been very individualistic on the defensive end and offensive end. And not from a selfish standpoint, but it's more so I got mine and I'm going to make sure my person doesn't score. Where even last year, we were going to take care of our own, but we're also going to help each other. And I don't think we were really doing that in the beginning, offensively and defensively. And I think we're starting to get into that more of the sharing mode on the offensive end. We're starting to cover for each other on the defensive end. And those are things that we've been stressing. We've talked about it a lot. Where we have a really solid, good starting 5 or 6. We consider Perez every much as a starter. But we are getting more comfortable with kids like Haley. Haley Barron is really coming in and understanding the game, enough that we can keep her out there, and also being a threat on the offensive end, and she can make a 3 here or there that you have to really guard her. We still have a little bit of a log jam as far as that 8th, 9th person between Destiny Jones and Dee Dee Griffin, and they really have to step up in order for us to continue to improve, but I think they're making strides in doing so.
You'll face William & Mary for the second time. First team that you'll face for the second time this year. If you go back to the last game, what might you anticipate from them again in the second meeting on Thursday night here at the Combo?
I said this a few days back, a week ago. I don't know how much they're going to change from the next time we meet them because it's only going to be a week and a half. But I think that's a team that just lacks a little bit of confidence. And they had a really big confidence booster yesterday. They beat Delaware at Delaware. After falling behind, I think by 15 at halftime. They came back and they stifled Delaware, and Delaware scored, I think it was like 11 points in the second half. So I think they're probably as confident as they've been in a very long time. They're coming into us. They probably will feed off of the success that they had against us and maybe try to tweak a few things. But I look forward to be pretty much of a similar type game, up and down. They're going to press us. We had too many turnovers in that basketball game. They probably would say the same thing, but I think it's going to be a different style of game where they're going to try to get up and down the court with us. They like to run a little bit, so I don't know how much they will be able to change as far as schemes go. Us as well. The schedule makers. They have us playing 2 games in a 10-day period. It's kind of unheard of, but it is what it is, and they're the next opponent, so we have to be ready for them.
Once again, Lady Okafor, Lauren Okafor was named the Player of the Week, 2nd consecutive week, and the 3rd time this season for that redshirt senior. We're here at O'Neill's Grill with JMU women's basketball coach Kenny Brooks. We'll turn it over to other members of the media that are with us here this afternoon.
So Kenny, you guys are 6-0 in conference now. When do you start talking about running the table in league play? When does that, become a spoken thing with the team?
We'll start talking about running the table after we cut the nets down to CAA championship, and if it's still there. We don't, Nick. We don't talk about it. We don't expect it. The only table we want to run is the next game. And that's not coach talk. I'm not trying to use any kind of reverse psychology on them. We really focus on the next game, and I think our league is too good for anyone to think that they're going to run the table. We're just trying to win the next game, and I think we can do that. We can focus and we can win every game if we're really focused. But the second you start looking at the bigger picture and trying to run the table, so to speak, you don't get a trophy for that. So it's not something that we talk about right now, but we're just trying to win the next game. And keeping our kids grounded, keeping our kids focused on that, I think it gives us the best chance to have the most success.
Mm-hmm. You guys played a very competitive non-conference schedule. I think you're 23 in the RPI right now. With that being said, do you feel like running the table in conference isn't necessary to lock down an at-large bid?
Last year was a good precursor for this year for me, and the way that we were going to think. And if we handle our business and we go out and we win as many games and we win the tournament, we don't have to think about any of the non-conference. The only thing the non-conference can do for us then is to help us get a good seed. And I think our non-conference schedule, if it holds up, it was very competitive. It was very it taught us a lot and prepared us a lot, and I think it will position us to be able to get a favorable seed. But I think we're one of the better teams in the country. I think we're definitely an NCAA caliber team, and obviously we have to go out and prove it. And if something happens, I think we've put together a resume enough that we should definitely be considered for an at-large.
Sure. And when you look at this roster, would you say there's a Kenny Brooks glue player? I mean, who is that person on this team?
We're still searching. We really are. And Nikki was that person last year. Really filled that role for us. If I had to say anyone, I would probably say Muff Mickens. Jasmine Guafmi does a lot of taking upon the role of the unsung hero and doing the dirty work and some of the things that doesn't get glorified. But yesterday Muff Mickens went down, and it's probably one of my worst nightmares because you can argue Lady Okafor is our most valuable. Our best player. You can also argue that Precious is our best player, but you can't argue anybody else being our most valuable other than Muff Mickens. Because she's the one that really makes us go on a lot of different areas. So she's probably the one that really gets us going. Is most likely to be our glue player.
Yeah, looking at her game, how has it grown here from sophomore to junior year?
Leaps and bounds. I trust her a lot more. She understands what I want in the offense and the team. She understands that her role is really to be an extension of me out on the floor. There's a lot of times where I can't get to the players, and she can because she's on the floor, and she understands what I want, what I'm thinking, and she relays that to the team, and she's better at doing that. Still talks too fast. Sometimes I don't understand what she's saying, but I guess they do. But she's done a tremendous job of growing up, and she's had her bumps in the road this year. I've gone at her a couple times. I even there was a period right before the season started that I put her on the second team, because she wasn't giving me what I needed from her, and I think she quickly started to understand what I did want from her, and she's doing a really good job of conveying it to her teammates.
And you said Wafni's kind of your unsung hero. I think she's averaging about 8 points per game this season. You could argue she's your most physically gifted player. When you look at her, is she the player that could maybe take you guys to the next level if she raises her game?
It's funny. We were talking about that today, and I probably anticipated or expected her to be a little bit more of a scoring threat for us this year. Before the season started, I probably would have thought she'd been about 12 points a game. We were talking as a staff, and we were like, okay, what if she was giving us 12 points a game? What if she was meeting our expectations as far as her scoring? Where will we be? And we said probably 15-2. So she's playing well for us. She's playing well for us. I think she's taking that burden off of her shoulder of having to be able to be a scorer for us, because she knows that she can rebound. Yesterday we put her on Drexel's leading scorer. I thought she did a fantastic job against her. And she's an unselfish kid. She'll just do whatever she can to help us win, and that's all she wants. And if it's scoring, she'll try to score. If it's rebounding, if it's defending, and those are the type of players you want to have in your program, because they'll sacrifice glory for the betterment of the team. And she epitomizes that kind of kid.
You talked a little bit yesterday about Ashley Perez, and I've seen her in practice. She's obviously a very talented shooter, and she's a scrappy player, but she just really hasn't put it all together in a game yet. When do you hope to see that come?
It's a process, and it's a process that is a difficult one. It's like being a new kid in school. You come in and you don't know anyone. Well, she doesn't really know how to play with these kids yet until she gets to play with them. And that's what's happening. She had a little probation period, where it was just pretty much go out and try to get your feet wet. Now we're probably holding her a little bit more accountable as far as, breakdowns that she might have. Or yesterday she probably shot one that she should have passed it. She passed one that she probably should have shot. It's just a matter of her getting comfortable. And then she's going to get that way. She's going to get that way. We understand that. We knew she was going to come in. We knew she was going to take a couple steps backwards before she could take a few steps forward. And we understand that. And, when she does get comfortable, it's going to make us that much more dangerous. Because she is a threat. She shoots the ball well, and she does a lot of things well for us.
Also, Carly Brew, there was a lot of high expectations for her coming into the year. She really has kind of settled out and hasn't played as much as probably you anticipated. Where is she at in the developmental process and catching up to the college game?
She's a freshman, and they're like boxes of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. Some of them pick it up quicker than others. Look at Haley Barron. When we got Haley, I thought Haley was going to be a little bit longer to grasp the technique, the speed of the game, and you never know until you get them here. And it's kind of like that box of chocolates. You never know what it is until you take a bite. And and Haley's doing a fantastic job. Carly's going to be a really good player for us. It's just that right now she's on a very good basketball team, and we don't need her. We would like for her to be, but we can be patient, and in order for her to get out on the floor and be able to show what she can do, she's got to be better than senior Toya Jiggett, senior Lady Okafor, and sophomore Dee Dee Griffin, and junior Destiny Jones, and you even throw Guathme into that mix. So we have the luxury of being patient with her, and if she had to play for us, I'm sure she could go out and produce, but you have to earn your time, and right now she has kids in front of her, and she just needs to be able to earn it.
I think my final question, you've mentioned a few times throughout the year talking about your depth and your struggles at depth. The last couple games you've gone almost 9 deep. Are you pleased with the health and where the team's at right now as far as the bench?
Yeah, no, yes, no. Yes, I'm happy with the health. I would love for, I'm a coach, I'd love for, we have better production from our bench, more production. And I think a lot of that stems from practice. We have a rotation, with the addition of Ashley Perez, we can put Guathme at a different position. And so therefore, kids are going to have to earn their time mainly in practice. I'm a practice guy. Okay, I'm a practice guy. Some kids say, I'm a gamer, turn the lights on, I'll start playing. Well, you can't be a gamer for us until you're a practicer. And these kids are learning how to perform well in practice before they can get out on the floor. So I think we are deep enough that we can go and contend for a championship. Would you like to have more depth available to you? Yes, always. We coaches are greedy. But I think I like where we are as a basketball team, and we just need to continue to improve.
Coach had a lot of success yesterday getting the ball into Okafor. Almost at times it seemed too easy. Is that repetition of them doing it over and over and over again through practice? As you said, you are a practice guy. Tell
me where you sit, because I didn't see it from where I was sitting. It didn't seem that easy. If it was one thing that I thought, we didn't get her the ball enough. And that's you contribute that to Drexel's defense. They were really going to slough inside. That's the way they play, double teaming and whatnot. And I thought we forced the issue a lot. So sometimes it was turning the ball over because we were trying to get her to her too much. But we would love to get it to her every time we could. I mean, obviously she's playing extremely well. She only had 7 attempts yesterday. When someone goes 7 for 7, you think to yourself, bad coach, because she should have at least gotten 5 more attempts just because she was playing so well. But it is a focal point. I think Lady's playing as well as anybody in the league, which is why she's garnering the Player of the Year award, Player of the getting ahead of myself, Player of the Week awards, and she's doing a very fantastic job. But we would like to get it to her more. She's really demonstrating post moves that we knew she had. She's strong. She's a physical presence, and she makes us go. So I thought we didn't get it to her enough.
When you pressure in the backcourt, is your #1 goal to force a turnover, or is it just to give the offense a much shorter shot clock to work with?
Yesterday, it was to give their offense a much shorter shot clock. They're a rhythm basketball team, and they thrive on breakdowns. And usually, breakdowns don't happen within the first 5 or 10 seconds of the shot clock. They usually happen towards the end of the shot clock. And so we really wanted to take them out of rhythm. By the time they got the ball across half court, they only had probably 20 seconds to go, and then we could defend. And that's what we really normally do with them, just trying to speed up the game a little bit. We knew they didn't have a true point guard, and so it kind of took them out of rhythm, but that was the whole game plan. Now, when we play against someone else, we'll try to get steals, but against a team like Drexel, they just don't turn it over that much, and you just want to try to take them out of rhythm as much as possible.
And finally, talk about the energy of the convo, especially yesterday. How does your team feed off of that when you've got that kind of response?
I thought the crowd was fantastic. Obviously numbers. Yesterday, I think we have one more Duke Dog reading day, and I think it's against a team that we'll be able to get up and down the floor against. I just don't think we really had a whole lot of opportunities to really get the crowd into it like we normally do. And, so it was a little bit quieter in there, which I guess it will be quiet if it's kind of like, a boxing match. You're going toe-to-toe, and the most exciting thing that you can do is hit a three-pointer. But, the crowd was great. The crowd was great, but Drexel just doesn't allow you to get up and down the floor where a lot of excitement is going to happen. And I'm not saying anything bad about Drexel. That's just the way they make you play. But I thought the crowd was great. It was fun. and hopefully we'll get a lot of those people to come back.
Coach, I think another aspect of those crowds, it's a lot of first-timers. They just don't know how to cheer yet, so you kind of have to coach them about that. I did notice that you had one of your signees in the house yesterday, Rachel. I'm not going to try to say her last name because I want you to do that for me. But
it's actually Savannah.
Savannah, that's right, Savannah.
Rachel is her mother.
Okay.
Rachel is her mother. Savannah Mocker.
Mocker.
Yeah,
all right.
Mocker. The L is before the G.
Okay.
When I first started recruiting her, I was Mocker, but it's not Mocker, it's Mocker.
All right, very good. Tell us a little bit about her.
Jack Kavanaugh's going to have fun with that name, right? You know, she actually was an AAU teammate of the point guard that we signed, Logan Reynolds. And we coveted Logan, you know, very hard. She was our #1 target for the point guard position. And we weren't really, we knew of Savannah, but we weren't really recruiting her. And obviously when you sit down and you watch as many games as we did of their team, the Knoxville Lady Panthers, you fall in love with kid's game. She's kind of a mixture. I don't want to say she's like a Nikki Newman, but she plays all over the place. She's diving on the floor. She just passes the ball well, shoots the ball well from 3. It's going to be a tremendous player for us, and she's tall. She's 6'3". You know, 6'3" with guard skills. She can shoot the ball from the outside. I need to get a little bit stronger, but she's fearless. And I think the crowd's going to love her. I think she's going to be a very important piece to us. Again, but she is a freshman, so who knows? You never know what you're going to get when she comes in. But I think she's got the tool set that she can come in and be able to contribute for us right away. Yeah,
good. Thank you there for clearing that up. I was cheating looking on Facebook here yesterday. So Rachel was making a comment about being here yesterday as well. That's the mom.
That's the mom.
Savannah is the daughter. Very, very well. So the Dukes, they will be at home on Thursday facing the Tribe of William and Mary. And then they will venture down to Charleston, South Carolina to face the College of Charleston Cougars. Thursday's game is a 7 o'clock tip-off, and Sunday's game a 2 o'clock tip-off. Thank you, Coach Brooks, for joining us here at O'Neill's Grill. And in just a moment, we'll be joined by the JMU men's basketball coach, Matt Brady.